Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It's the end of another night shift week, and it's a night we do a thing we call Real Talk. Tonight we say happy hump night. Yeah, it's hump day and it's the night, so it has to be hump night. Or it's gonna be hump day night. Any which way you want to take it, it's Wednesday. The show is also known as Marlon's favorite night shift show. I want to welcome each and every one, those locked in on affiliate stations on TuneIn Radio, The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew on PEMGTV.com, and of course right here at the home of The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew, KevinStew.com. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you, and you have my word. What's my word? That I wouldn't even try. Kicking it up with a little farm and happy.
I don't want to start up no fight. You know you is my lover, but you're quarreling the whole.
It's called Loosen the Chain.
No cover. Why you getting on so with me? Girl, I'm coming back home, but you're acting as if you feel like I'm going on road. Even if I whine and I won't say, girl, that's only temporary. So don't hot up your head if I'm going on line. Carry place wifey with a little wine. Promise I ain't gonna mash up the thing and cause you no pain. Yeah, loosen up the chain. Girl, don't make me shame. Loosen up the chain. Girl, don't get done so you don't have nothing to fret. Loosen up the chain. Even if I take a little wine, all them bam bam, and mine are just exploring in me mind. I say, girl, loosen up the chain. It's every year we going through the same thing. Long before the people know me, girl, so don't say it's fame thing. Not because I go out there and fret, I go leave you. So don't stress me out, you know I ain't go deceive you. So, even if I whine and I won't say, girl, I'm telling you that it's temporary. So don't beat up yourself if I'm going online. Carry place, wifey with a little wine. Promise I ain't go F up the thing and cause you no pain. Girl, loosen up the chain. Girl, don't make me shame. Loosen up the chain. Girl, don't get done so you don't have nothing to fret. Loosen up the chain. Even if I take a little wine, all them bam bam, and mine are just exploring in me mind. I say, girl, loosen up the chain. Come on. Look at bam bam all over, over. But I'm not gonna leave ya, leave ya. My hand to my side like a preacher, preacher. And I just want you remember, remember, oh girl. Even if I choke on a bone say, girl, I'm telling you that it's temporary. So don't beat up yourself if I'm going online. Carry place wifey with a little wine. Promise I ain't go F up the thing and cause you no pain. Girl, loosen up the chain. Girl, don't make me shame. Loosen up the chain. Girl, don't get done so you don't have nothing to fret.
It's called Loosen Up the Chain.
Take a little wine.
Well, just loosen the chain, really. Farm and happy.
In my mind I say, girl, loosen up the chain.
Want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show.
If I going online, carry place wifey with
When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call.
the thing and
What can they do for you? Everything you see right here on KevinStew.com and so much more.
girl, don't make me shame.
You have a website?
Girl, don't get
Are you looking for a place to host it?
nothing to fret.
Pulse Media.
If I take a little wine, all them bam
What about creating your website?
gonna leave ya,
Pulse Media.
leave ya. My hand to my side like a preacher, preacher. And I just want you
What about streaming an event?
remember,
Pulse Media.
girl. Even if I choke on a bone say,
Capturing the event,
I'm telling you that
no streaming,
it's
they can do that too.
beat up yourself if
If you want to take that step further and own your own broadcasting station,
from the thing and cause you no pain.
yep, you can do that too. Give them a call, 754-999-6020, or visit them at pulsemg.com. Pulse Media Group, and being in the moment is priceless. Tell them you heard about them on right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. kind of like this Farmer Nappy. I haven't played it in a while. This was from back in 2015. Yeah, Loosen the Chain. Now, there's another circumstance under which we use chains. It's not just with the the proverbial ball and chain relationship called marriage sometimes. But something a little bit more serious in the form of slavery. And chains have been used in bondage for ever since we have a recollection of time. I probably should look up the history of chains and when they first came into being. But we're looking at a slightly different thing in history tonight. And that is Caucasians. You know, we're always looking at black people in history because there is so much to black history. But I can't recall ever hearing anybody saying, you know, here's the history of Caucasians. However, the information is there. I want to say big ups to Marlon, host of Real Rockers. Had a little run-in with some gremlins today with the Real Rockers show. So it wasn't quite what we know it to be, but it was on nonetheless. All being well, things should be back in full swing come Monday. And we get to go through the charts and get some real reggae music edutainment. So big ups Marlon. Inviting you all to jump into the stew pot. Join Marlon and everybody else that is there. I see one of my potters. Welcome, glad to have you. And come on in. The stew pot is what other people would call a chat room, but we're kind of fancy over here on kevinstew.com. We call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things bubbling and interactive. So come on in, season the pot, flavor it up. It's a judgment-free zone. Let's hear what you have to say. And we get to share with each other and learn from each other. So tonight we ask the question, when did Caucasian start? And it would sound like a weird question, but I'm thinking that by the time we get to the end of tonight's show, that weird question won't be so weird. It will be more along the lines of, oh, now I understand why Stu said it the way he did. The word Caucasian, and I really want to thank Yolanda Moses for putting this information together. I had found some other information, but I kind of like the way Yolanda Moses had put it together back in an article in 2017. Yep, this article is 3 years old. On sapiens.org. And she says the word Caucasian is used in the US to describe white people. Well, that's what we know it as, right? Anybody know it to be used any other way? If you do, just indicate in the stew pot for me, please. Now, oh, and by the way, you can get in touch by not only the stew pot, but you can call, you can text 773-789-STEW, 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. You can WhatsApp that number also. And I do encourage you to use a stew pot, but if you don't want to use that and you want to give me a call and talk on the show, feel free. Also, you can Skype me. Kevin.stew is the Skype, and you can email me at djkevinstew@gmail.com. Of course, you can also connect with me by email through the website, kevinstew.com. At the bottom of the page, there's a contact me section. You can just put whatever you want to send to me in there, and I'll get it straight to my email. All right, so The word Caucasian is used in the US to describe white people, but it doesn't indicate anything real. Did you know that? Well, history lesson. It's the wrong term to use. She goes on to say, my colleague and one of my longtime writing partners, Carol Mukhopadhyay. It's a really interesting name that she has. Mukhopadhyay, and it's spelled Mukhoda. Sorry, Mukhopadhyay. And you could, well, you probably can't tell that I spent some time repeating this name. Still haven't gotten it right. But she has written a wonderful article called Getting Rid of the Word Caucasian. That is still relevant for how it challenges us to critically examine the language we use. It is obvious that language shapes how we perceive and see the world. And we know how powerful the concept of race is, and how the use of words related to the notion of race is shaped, and how it has shaped what we call the US and the US racial worldview. So, why then do we continue using the word Caucasian? To answer that question, it's helpful to understand where the term actually came from and its impact on our society. The word Caucasian originated from a growing 18th century European science of racial classification. German anatomist Johann Blumenbach visited the Caucasus Mountains, located between the Caspian and the Black Seas. And really, he must have been enchanted because he labeled the people there Caucasians. Not because it was up in the Caucasus Mountains, but, well, I think it would have to be because it was up in the Caucasus Mountains. It's Caucasians, right? He also proposed that they were created in God's image and as an ideal form of humanity. A little bit of history, a little bit more of history as it relates to the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains was also considered to be the location of the landing point of Noah's Ark. And the location for the suffering of Prometheus, who in Hesiod's myth had crafted humankind from clay. So, again, I mentioned this before, and I know I mentioned it recently to someone in dialogue. You check just about any religion, all the stories in their religious books are quite similar. So, why the difference of religions? I don't know. Probably the same reason you have different languages. Probably the same reason you have different races. We don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe someone out there does. Feel free to give us the answer if you do. So, Blumenbach gave the people in the Caucasus Mountains the name Caucasians, and he said, these people must have been made in God's image. They're the ideal form of humanity. The label has stuck from then till today. Now, according to Mukhopadhyay, Bloomberg went on to name 4 other races, each considered physically and morally degenerate forms of God's original creation. He categorized Africans, excluding light-skinned North Africans, as Ethiopians or black. He divided non-Caucasian Asians into 2 separate races, the Mongolian or yellow race of Japan and China, and the Malayan or brown race, which included Aboriginal Australians and Pacific Islanders. And he called Native Americans the red race. Now, pay attention. You see how far this is coming from? Bloomberg's system of racial classification was adopted in the United States to justify racial discrimination, particularly slavery. Popular race science and evolutionary theories generally posted that there were separate races. The difference in behavior were tied to skin color, and that there were scientific ways to measure race. One way racial differences were identified was through craniometrics, which measured skull size to determine the intelligence of each racial group. And as you can imagine, this flawed application of the scientific method resulted in race scientists developing a flawed system of racial classification that ranked the 5 races from most primitive, black and brown races, to more advanced, the Asian races, to the most, those were the more advanced, and then the most advanced were the white or Caucasian races. Now, even though the 5 race topology was later disproven, Caucasian still has currency in the US. One reason we keep using the term Caucasian is that the US legal system made use of Bloomberg's taxonomy. As early as 1790, the first naturalization law was passed. Are you getting the history lesson here? 1790. And this law was preventing foreigners who were not white from becoming citizens. But according to Mukhopadhyay, Bloomberg's category of Caucasian posed a little problem, because his classification of white also included some North Africans, Armenians, Persians, Arabs, and North Indians. That's a problem. The definition of Caucasian had to be reinvented to focus the ideological category of whiteness on Northern and Western Europe. The term, even though its exact definition changed over time, was used to shape legal policy and the nature of our society. Now, one bit of information that I always found a little bit interesting was that the documents on which the United States are said to be founded were written in 1776. When was it that Bloomberg, when they passed the first naturalization law was passed in 1790. Declaration of Independence was written in 1776. It wasn't until 1863 that slavery was abolished. Are you seeing some connections here? I'm just wondering, because the dots that I am connecting may be wrong, or even if they're not wrong, let me say they're probably misguided. So if anybody has better guidance, please guide me, because I very well may be off. And if I'm not, encourage me. Now, again, 1790, first naturalization law was passed. 1776, Declaration of Independence. 1863, slavery was abolished. So, when you take those dates into consideration and you look at what is happening in the US today, you can kind of gauge and see and come to a little bit of an aha moment, because this is something that has been carrying on for quite some time. A second reason the term has had staying power is that as new immigrants began to stream into the country in the 20th century, political leaders and scientists supported a new racial science called eugenics. And eugenics built on the 19th century notions of race. Eugenicists divided Caucasians into 4 ranked subraces. You had your Nordic, your Alpine, your Mediterranean, and the Jew, the Semitic Jews. Now, you can pretty much be sure you will not be surprised to learn that the Nordics were ranked highest intellectually and morally. Why? Who knows? Must have been, again, the size of their skulls. So the Nordics were ranked highest intellectually and morally, and these rankings were used by our government to design and execute discriminatory immigration laws that preserved the political dominance of Nordics, who were largely Protestant Christians. Looking at that, who was it that really made up the government back then? The early government of the United States. Were those the Europeans that would be considered looking mostly like those from the Nordic countries? Things that make you go, right? And really and truly, I'm walking us through this so that we can have this dialogue. We can have this revelation. We can have this understanding, so that we can ask the questions. Questions like, why do you really feel that you are better than me? And the you here refers to those who classify themselves as Caucasians. And the me are the people who fall in the others category. The red, the black, the brown. The what would be considered less than perfect. But we already know that is derived from flawed science. I'm trying to remain as politically correct as possible. But that comes from something that is inherently flawed. So if you start off your base on a concept that is flawed, what do you think your end product is going to be? If you have done nothing to correct it in getting to the point where you come up with an end product, won't that end product also be flawed? I'm just wondering. Yes, no, maybe so. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text. There's a number right there going across your screen. Call, text, WhatsApp. Let me hear from you. Is it that we want to go ahead with this flawed concept of saying using terms like Caucasians when, well, there's really no such thing? Oh my goodness. Could it really be? What foolishness is Kevin Stew talking about right now? Where did he get this foolishness from? Well, I looked it up. Did you look it up? Have you done your bit of research? Tell me if you find something different from what I found. And I'm not done yet. So stick around. I got some more information for you. Right now, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll finish this up.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us. 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us. 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
the only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
It's why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
I am David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin Stew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believing, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine. It's a hot it up loud.
Telling you the truth, for that proof, check the proof, plus engage you from moving the root of human. 99% of leaders and teachers are useless. I don't care what I've been told. Outside the carnival, reflect the times of old. I've never blinded souls like cats, but rhymes I scold. Tech firms piggybacking on babies, mining gold.
There's a whole heap of love, I got a whole heap of love. There's a whole heap of love, be strong.
Let me tell you, there's a whole heap of love, I got a whole heap of love. You better trust me, brother. Come on, listen to me. Once loud, proud, now we got this aerial view. So when you're telling your crew, be prepared not to be scared of scaring a few. Loving humanity, whatever you do, cause I am human, and you are too. Come on.
You are too. Clap your hands together. Get it together, come on, baby. I love you. You belong. Stand for the right and not the wrong. Everybody have to get along, sing the song, stay strong. You go the hell of the road long. See everybody have to get along. Alright, man, it's stand for the wrong and not the right. Still have to give them love tonight. Long sight soon come, them a step into the light. We have to give them love tonight.
Son of Jimmy Lyons working out with Carpet Face. It's called Human. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands for sponsoring this segment of the show. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist that operates out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you. She brings her table, she has her oils, and of course her Healing Heavenly Hands. And what Healing Heavenly Hands they are. She only requires one thing of you. Other than that you pay her, you get off her table when she's done. Go sleep somewhere else. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Or email her at faillater@att.net. Tell her DJ Kevin Stew sent you. Jimmy Lyons working out with Carpet Face. The track is called Human. I am human. I'd like to think you are too. So, while we're on the break, someone had commented in the pot and said, all names, so many things aren't what they are called. And then goes on to ask, is homophobia really a fear of homosexuals? Well, as far as I know, homophobia is actually a fear of your own gender. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of, yeah. But I get you. So many things are not what they are called. So, here we are today with Caucasians. The word. And it is actually still used quite frequently on government documents. And it continues to carry a kind of scientific weight. Because we use it, right? So it must have some sort of backing to it. It is found, for example, in social science and medical research, and is used by some colleges and universities in their data collection and distribution of student, staff, and faculty statistics. In Mukhopadhyay's research, she sampled government websites and official documents and was actually surprised to learn how many government offices, including the U.S. Census Bureau, still use the word Caucasian. And so, this is not something that is by any stretch of the imagination new. Again, 1790 was quite a few years ago. It wasn't just yesterday. So, the word Caucasian became entrenched in our legal or governmental or scientific and our social lives. And although the US government reluctantly denounced or at least played down racial science after the atrocities of Adolf Hitler's regime were fully exposed at the end of World War II, the term has not been discarded. In fact, it's very much widely used. And I even used it up to last week. I think I probably used it this week. Might have been yesterday. I don't know. But here it is. It's, again, just a part of us. If you grow up hearing something used, you pretty much don't give it a second thought. You just start using it too. So, can we change it? Is there anything that we can do? And if so, what does that look like? One recommendation is that we need to acknowledge that the word Caucasian is still around, and that its continued use is actually problematic. We should use terms that are more accurate, such as European American. And doing that now would be consistent with the use of other descriptive terms like African American, Mexican American, and others that signify both a geographical and an American ancestry. You notice they really don't say European Americans for white people. The bottom line is that for a modern and accurate terminology, the use of an outdated and disproven term that falsely purports to describe a separate race of people really and truly has no place in the United States. Not in a country that boasts itself on being the leaders of the free world. Well, free is relative, right? The only place you can truly be free is in your mind. So, if your mind is tied up and wrapped up and led by social constructs, then how free are you? Because it just seems that we've been going over and over and over the same things and getting no real results. And that's because at the root of it, there's no change. And there can't be any change because we believe some fundamental things. And when I say we, I mean across the board. And we don't take the time out to study. We don't take the time out to read a document, to learn something new. So we get caught up in the same old, and we're like the hamster on the wheel. Even the hamster at some point gets off the wheel. Why are we still stuck on it? Why are we still stuck in using things that divide us? You do realize that together we are stronger. And it really doesn't matter where you come from. It really doesn't matter how you look. If we were all to go blind right now, what are we going to use to discriminate against each other? Yeah, so we all went blind. You can't feel my skin and tell the complexion of my skin. You can't smell me and tell my complexion. So then we're going to start going off accents. Because you can't taste my complexion. So we're going to have to go off accents. It's the one thing. You can't just hear me. So, and they're also, you can't hear my complexion. So you're going to have to hear my accent and just assume that I come from a certain part of the world. Here's the kicker. no matter where in the world you come from, you find people of all races. Jamaica's motto is out of many, one people. I went to school with Chinese looking people. They even had Chinese names. I went to school with Indian looking people. I have them in my family. Yeah, in their blood relatives. I went to school with regular black looking people. Not to say that other people are not regular. So I'm falling into the whole thing too. I'm just as guilty. So I went to school with black people. I went to school with white people. And when we all sat down and talked, we didn't sound any different. Not one of us. So, if we were to all go blind today, what would we use to differentiate? Why is it that we're not looking at each other through our heart's eyes? Why is it we're using these eyes that have only been taught to, upon receiving the information that they receive, have our brains process it in such a way that it causes division? Close them. The next time you meet someone, close your eyes. Talk to them. So now you don't have a choice but to listen. And when you listen to what they say, even if you don't decide that you're going to listen, you're just going to hear them. Even with just hearing them out. Outside of the fact that there are certain dialects, what they're telling you is just information. That's all you're getting. So let's take it even a step further. We lost our eyesight, so we can't tell what they look like. Now we've lost our hearing. So now we've all learned Braille. And we're now feeling these words. Because if a white person writes you a letter, and a black person writes you a letter, and a Chinese person writes you a letter, and an Indian person writes you a letter, you just see words on a piece of paper. So we've eliminated eyesight. We've eliminated hearing. So we're just going on touch. And we've all learned Braille. And I sent you a letter. Would you know what complexion I am? Outside of me telling you where I come from, would you have any idea of how I look? Would it make a difference? Here we have a comment in the stew pot. A good friend of mine who is a white Jamaican compared working in the reggae music industry as a white man with being black in America. I'd love to know more about that. If you can get them to call me before this show is out and tell me what that experience is like, I'd truly appreciate of it. Because that is so they get the privilege of being white, but some of the discrimination of not being American. And what's interesting is that as a black Jamaican, you get treated a little bit different when people find out that you're not American but you're Jamaican. In fact, I have heard the question. Thank you for trying to find that out. Thank you for. I've heard the question asked: are you black or are you Jamaican? And my first thought to that question really was, after, are you dumb or are you dumb? That's all I could come up with. I didn't ask it, but that also comes from a place of ignorance. And when we're just using, you see, there it is. You've been asked the same things. The first time I heard that question was on my first visit to the United States. I went to Georgia. It was this one time at band camp. Yeah. I get to use that story. This one time at band camp, I was asked, am I Jamaican or am I black? Both. Because people saw black Americans in one light. But if you're a foreigner and you just happen to be black, then you're something else. Exactly what else? I don't know. And these were people from Georgia. This was my first experience with racism. Now, the good thing is, it was a church camp. So, it was an experience of racism in that, in just being made aware that such a thing exists. It wasn't discriminatory or anything like that. So, but it was just an understanding that people saw us differently. And I kind of brushed it off on one hand, but I look back at it and I was like, I should have really just slapped them when they asked that question. Slap them for being stupid. But if you don't know better, how can you do better? Let me ask this. How many people before I presented this information tonight knew that there was a place called Caucasus? And this was the place where it is purported that Noah's Ark had landed. So some would say it is the place of the rebirth of the world. How many people knew about that? They just knew that Noah's Ark landed somewhere based on the Bible. You know, the land started, the water started to recede and the boat just parked. But it didn't say where the boat parked. So history tells us that it was a place called Caucasus. And this German scientist went and visited and found some people there and thought they were God's gift to the earth. They were people made perfectly in God's image and called them Caucasians. But where in the world is this Caucasus? Between the Black Sea and the Persian Sea? That's in the Mediterranean, isn't it? What kind of people live there? That's where Caucasus is, isn't it? Yeah, the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. So that's up there in Persia. Persians are not white people. So this concept of this pure, quote unquote, race, this more superior race, based on Johann Blumach's scientific theory. I tell you, you just, all you need to do is have a little bit of influence, and you can change the world. I didn't ask you guys to do this before, but I'll ask you to do it now. Go ahead and share. Tell somebody, hey, listen, tune in to the night shift. You may like it, you may not like it, but tune in anyway. And I encourage anyone who feels so compelled to do it to use the donate button. Whatever is collected is used towards the site. So here we have the word Caucasian, and we found out quite a bit about it. Does it stop there? There was an article even before this one that gives us a little bit of a history lesson, encouraging people to stop using the word Caucasian to mean white. And it was an article in Discover magazine back in 2011. And when we come back from this break, I'm going to present this article to you. And then we're going to hit up and chill out in musical therapy to close out the night shift week. You go ahead in the break and see if you find any more information or anything different from what I have found thus far. And then let me know. Text me, call me, put it in the stew pot. You have options. Email me. Let me know. Tell me what you find. And then we'll take it from there. We'll be right back. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
A social distancing tip. While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, That Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Caramanti letting you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the Night Shift. Don't move.
Yeah, black love is bigger than you, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than him, it's bigger than she. Black love is all about unity, it's us. Black love, it's we. Hey. So make we talk for a second about this, cause every goddess when me know want this. Fi in love, peaceful and bliss. A black love full of chocolate kiss. Black moments make we reminisce. Light your spliff if you drink, take a sip. Tonight sex enough we target. Cause I've got something better, I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level, nothing left to do but confess that I love him, and that's the truth. He reads to me, he teaches me, that pleases me. Black love so sweet, he lays with me and plays with me all day with me. Black love will be, oh, how we connected through time and space. The love strong, stronger than the black race. A pure magic anytime we embrace. Me love your king, I will never embrace. The man go deep, deep in the bookcase. Stroke me body plus me mental space. Spiritually I have to elevate, cause I've got something better, I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level, nothing left to do but confess that I love him, and that's the truth. He reads to me, he teaches me, that please.
I want to welcome you back to the show.
That love so sweet.
Real Talk Wednesday right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
With me, all day with me, black love indeed.
I want to say thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the show.
The love strong, stronger than the black race. A pure magic anytime we embrace. Me love your king, I will never embrace. The man go deep, deep in the book.
Give them a call. They can take care of your business registration, your legal referrals, your music production, your publishing, your copyrights, your booking agent for your tour management, and so much more. Want to do some marketing and promotion? Give them a call. 954-998-8034. That's 954-998-8034. Or you can visit them online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
To me, he teaches me, that pleases me. Black love so sweet, he lays with me and plays with me.
This is the sound of Caramanti.
With me, black love indeed.
It's called Black Love.
I miss enough for them a try. Announce love but a lie, them a lie. Them couple love but me want know why. Cause every other month I just fight them a fight. Before long, one of them take flight. Quit the team, cause the team never tight. Me heart goes out, that's not right, but not enough in me black life. Hey. Yeah, a Caramonte. Black love, family.
Thank you for the kind words, Miss Thompson. Now, as we come into the home stretch, to bring the show on home, I told you before the break that I was going to present some information to you. Understand this. Caucasian literally refers to people native to the Caucasus. But it has become interchangeable with any number of white populations, most of whom trace their ancestry to Europe. One gets a feeling that the term white fell out of favor and was replaced by Caucasian, much like black was replaced by African American. But like we had suggested before, courtesy of Miss Yolanda, I don't want to mess up her name, Moses. For the life of me, I couldn't remember her last name. And Yolanda Moses, by the way, is a professor of anthropology and a former associate vice chancellor of diversity, equity, and excellence at the University of California, Riverside. So you can look her up. It's not your regular fly-by-night person just talking off the top of them head. It's somebody who did the research a little bit deeper than what I did. And I'm grateful for the work that she has done because I am now able to present on it. The roots of the terminology and others like it are disturbing. It was postulated that the natives of the Caucasus exhibited the idealized physical appearance, so the Caucasus were believed to be the birthplace of mankind. Now, the logic behind this idea, the assumption that whites exhibit the best physical appearance, is implicitly racist. Additionally, we now know our species first appeared in Africa. So, the biology, well, that's not good either. The connotations of the term Caucasian, along with the geographical absurdity of using that term to describe all Europeans or whites, are the two main reasons that the term needs to be abandoned. Up until the late 1990s, there was a thought that people from the Caucasus Mountains, when the term was heard, but then it began to, there was a reorientation of assumptions because of its colloquial usage. And as it became more and more popular, there were some who became more and more irritated because it became obvious that the type of people who were now using the term likely did not know where the Caucasus Mountains were. And you can check the popularity of the term over time. Now, while the older classical physical anthropology, like the anthropology terms like Negroid and Caucasoid, fell into disuse after 1960, as you would expect, Caucasian went through a renaissance in the 1990s. And there's a thought that people wanted a pretentious term, someone less coarse than white. And since most people are geographically challenged, Caucasian sounds good if you want to pose as far sophisticated. Now, here's a sort of thing that would make anyone want to kind of tear their hair out. The nativity story it delights some and it disappoints others. And of course, some people are going to be upset. But here it goes. Further enhancing the realism is doubtless the most non-Caucasian cast in Hollywood Bible movie history. Perhaps English in a Bible film will never quite sound the same after the Passion's visionary use of ancient languages. But Middle Eastern accents work better with the British or American English common in the past, and may set a new standard for such times. This is in reference to the Nativity story, a 2006 film which starred a half Maori, half white actress as Mary. The realism was presumably because the producers cast non-Europeans, and Palestinians are non-Europeans. Setting aside the fact that genetically the distance between Mary, a Middle Easterner, and a European is far smaller than that between a European and a half Maori actress. There's a big geographical confusion. The Caucasus Mountains bound the Middle East on the north, and the real Caucasians are to some extent a lineal Middle Eastern population. This gets really dumbfounded for lack of a better term, stupid people who ask and answer questions of the form, are Armenians white? And these are questions that are asked on the internet. After all, the Armenians are indubitably Caucasian. And Caucasian is white, right? Right? White? Well, compare the subtlety of a regular dictionary definition of Caucasian to the straightforward acknowledgement of the idiocy of the common use of the term in Urban Dictionary. Now you end up with some issues. The writer says, "This matters to me in a concrete matter. In my post on Assyrians, I avoided the term Caucasian because I didn't want to confuse people. But this is getting ridiculous. I now believe that a population movement from the Trans-Caucasian region due to demographic expansion has probably had a major impact on both Europe and South Asia. But I have been avoiding terming these people Caucasians, lest I just muddy the waters because of the disjunction between colloquial usage and coherency. But that's what people from Caucasus are. So, I'm changing my practice and using the term as I really want to use it. If people get confused and they show up in the comments, I will correct them as I am wont to do. For those readers who have qualms about the coarseness of white and the genericness of European, well, try the word Aryans. It will still make you sound smarter to the herd, and it's just as stupid and also derived from a scientific tradition which is in disrepute. Kind of sounds like it makes sense to me. But it has the convenience that it doesn't correspond to anything real in this world. You hear people talk about being the Aryan race. Where is this Aryan place? Tell me. Show me on a map. Make arrangements to take me there. This is the problem that we face. This is how we end up in this race war. Because we don't stop to get information. And the information that we have picked up along the way, we take it and use it as gospel. Nobody says, okay, you know what? Let me challenge this. Why? Because the person who said it is supposed to be the person in the know. Anybody can have knowledge. All it takes is to do a little bit of reading. So are you saying if you read a book and I read the same book, outside of not remembering everything in that book, word for word, are you saying that I don't have the same knowledge that you do? If that is what you're saying, maybe you read that book in an Ivy League university, and I read that book in a ghetto library. Does the institution in which it was read make a difference? Do the words change when you move them from place to place? It's the same book, right? Just in a different location. So we both have the same knowledge. So we can both impart of that knowledge that we both got from this book. Why should your information carry more weight than mine? These are the things that cause division. And because you check history, I'm not saying anything that we don't know from history. For a long time, black people weren't allowed to read. For a long time, black people were considered just 3/5 of a man. Based on what? Being Caucasian? Because you're white? No, you're European American. That's different. Read a book. And I can say that now because guess what? I did some reading. And I didn't just read it in one place. I just decided to present to you the shorter version of what I found. Now, you can go ahead and look it up because guess what? The source of the information is just as available to you as it was to me. And my job is to stimulate your appetite, not to satisfy your hunger. So, when I'm done, you should be hungry. You should want more information. And in doing so, you should go and get it. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get misguided. Don't be fooled by someone with a slick tongue spewing some type of false rhetoric. Get the facts. People who are fighting for equality and those who are fighting for equity, anyone who is battling any type of discrimination, you want to know how to do it effectively? Use the information that is being used to fight you. That's how you do it effectively. Because you present the same information, then there's no argument. It's just, how are you going to present it? Who can tell you that the very same information, you're interpreting it wrong? If you're interpreting it wrong, then whomever else is interpreting it could also be interpreting it wrong. But you wouldn't know how to do that unless you're looking at that information. Let's start learning things like the laws. laws of whichever land you're in. Learn them. If you feel you're discriminated against, those who are getting preferential treatment, find out the basis on which they are getting that treatment. Because you shouldn't have one set of laws for one set of people being different from another set if you both coexist in the same space. And with that knowledge, then you can truly fight. Outside of that, you're just blowing hot air.
I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in the state of confusion. Why is it that my race remains poor? My race sitting on the jail floors. My race fighting to knock down doors. Same race they stole from across the shore. My race that built this great nation, still trapped on my plantation. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in a state of confusion. Rwanda, Haiti, down in Darfur, Jamaica, they're crying out for murder, hunger. Why can't we come together and help one another? It only takes but one to start a revolution. Please don't play into the illusion. Oh, I see them lost. Yeah, I see them lost. Oh, in a state of confusion. Wake up, wake up, wake up, yeah. Oh, I see them lost. I see them lost. I see them running, running, running. Oh, I see them running. Oh, my people lost. Oh, my people lost, yeah. I wanna tell you to you now. Oh, I see them lost. Lost in illusion, yeah. I see them lost. Oh, lost in delusion, yeah. My people, you lost. Oh.
This is the sound of Nikki Blaze. Her very first single.
I see them love. Oh yes, I see them.
It's called Lost in Illusion.
Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in the state.
The question for tonight is really, when did Caucasians start?
Oh yes, I see them.
Now you understand the question, right?
See them love. Oh yes, I see them. In delusion. And now they reside in a state of confusion.
When we move out of this state of confusion, only then can we rise up. This is Christina Alicia. That's the title of the track, Rise Up.
Every man will have a lesson, every man will have a turn to make his own decision and to practice what him learn. Check your heart and motive every day you walk this earth.
You're in the musical therapy.
Give and make a difference in this world. Awake from your slumber. Awake, Israelite, recall your maker. Who gives to every man his portion? The choice is yours to move on forward. Rise up and try your road. Rise up, don't make nobody stop you now. Rise up, Zion's gates are yours. Zion, destiny is ours. Oh, rise up and try your road. Rise up, don't make nobody stop you now. Rise up, Zion's gates are yours. Zion, destiny is ours. A man not make excuses, never gets to reach his fullness. And if you go bet your neighbors, well, you'll grow a heart of bitterness. See beyond the naked eye, see what's really happening. Nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes said it. Awake from your slumber. Awake, Israelite, we call your maker. Who gives to every man his portion? The choice is yours to move on forward. Rise up and trudge your own. Rise up, don't make nobody stop you now. Rise up, Zion's gates are yours. Zion, destiny is ours. So rise up and trudge your own. Rise up, don't make nobody stop you now. Rise up, Zion's gates are yours. Zion, destiny is ours.
I want to say thanks to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. GMAT Music Solutions takes care of your sound, your light and production services. Give you bands, DJs, musicians, singers, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-307-4622. That's 754-307-GMAC. Or you can visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com. This is how we close out the night shift week. This is Marilla Abram. From the TTM Collective's inspirational love songs masterpiece. True love rock. That's what it is.
You are so beautiful to me.
Inspirational Love Songs Masterpiece is a collection. A collection of actual gospel songs or gospel arrangements of love songs. So this is why I say it is real love rock. Well, Marlon said it's real lovers rock, and I said it's true love rock.
You are so beautiful to me. To me, oh, to me.
Stay with it.
You are everything that I need, Lord. When I was lonely, you stood by me. And when I was lost, Lord, you rescued me. Yes, you did. Lord, you are so wonderful to me, Lord. You are everything to me, Lord. You are wonderful to me. You are wonderful. You are marvelous. You are wonderful. You are beautiful, Lord. You are wonderful. You are marvelous. You guiding light that shines in the dark.
My baby tell me that he's leaving today. Same can't take the stress. My baby told me that he's going somewhere. Same bound for find the bear.
This is Lila Ike.
And I'm the best. That's
It's called Second Chance.
he said that he no longer cares. Oh baby, please take me out for beg you just a second chance. Can we fall in love like we did before? Can I show you how much I adore you, baby? Come make me go fall in love. Know you love the silence, especially the rubber dog. Can we fall in love like we did before? Say love ain't perfect. So much that we've been through, giving up ain't worth it. So come back, we get stronger in love. I tell you, said the love it that we got it never normal. It sent from above. You filled up my heart with love. Woo-hoo. Nobody ever touched me like you do. Boo-boo-boo. So just fall. Let's forget it all. And baby, make me fall in love once more. Can we fall in love like we did before?
I give you this love, until I give you this love. I bet you never had a love like mine, something to treasure that's so hard to find. Until I give you this love, until I give you this love. Give you my heart, it's my pleasure, and you can keep it forever. And when you're in need the most, my melody shall keep you close. And I can sing you so many lullabies and keep you flying right through the sky. So let's burn and get high. I bet you never had a youth like me to keep you happy, keep you wild and free. Until I give you this love, until I give you this love. I bet you never had a love like mine, something to treasure that's so hard to find. Until I give you this love.
This is the sound of Albarosi. It's called Youth Like Me.
Smooth operator,
that's me.
cool like the weather, let us build our castle in love.
Smooth.
You have a hard day, not today, same way. No leave your side, no criticize you. And when you think it's a struggle, Rasta will be there at the double, standing firm beside you. Just say yes. I bet you never had a youth like me to keep you happy, keep you wild and free. Until I give you this love, until I give you this love. I bet you never had a love like mine, something to treasure that's so hard to find. Until I give you this love, until I give you this love.
Show me just one true friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen again. Show me just one true friend. Hey, a long time me mama did the one before them. Show me just one.
This is the sound of Dingy Blaze.
Friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen.
Do you have one, just one true friend?
Hey, a long time the
all they need is one.
Before them. One multitude, a pure backstabber. Watch how you share your food, watch how you share your grabber. Them a working at the dark full time like robber. In a jam me put me trust and no other. In front of you them laugh, ha 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 ha. And behind your back them say murder, ah 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 ah. Thanks to revelation, praises to Jah. That one you not go no further, just one true friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen again. Show me just one true friend. Hey, a long time the mama did the one before them. Show me just one true friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen again. Show me just one true friend. Hey, a long time the elders did the one before them. When the truth was out, sometimes it hurt, can't believe but the same one when me operate from birth. One thing, destroy me soul and kick me off of the earth. Me did hear and say a lie to blouse and skirt. When you have money, only for them come rate you. When you have no money, all your brother hate you. Them a complain about you, that's them a the same way too. That's why the general say he no Joseph, he no certain. Just show me who is who in these times. Just show me who is true in these times. Just show me who is who. Just show me just one true friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen again. Show me just one true friend. Hey, a long time me mama did the one before them. Show me just one true friend. So what happened yesterday cannot happen again. Show me just one true friend. Hey, a long time the elders did the one before.
Tough like a diamond, strong like titanium.
The son of Novelty. Working out with her husband, Howard Perry on trumpet. So, this is for all my diamonds out there.
This is how I fight.
Going through something right now.
Flat footed on the ground, flat footed on the ground. Can't keep me down, no, can't keep me down. Back broad, stand tall, flat footed on the ground.
Remember that.
Tough like a diamond, you know I'm strong like titanium. Tough like a diamond, knock me down, but I won't stay down. Tough like a diamond, strong like titanium. Knock me down, I get back on my feet. I'm strong like titanium. Is that all you got? Take your best shot. Take your best shot. Yo, is that all you got? No surrender, no flag in my sky. You never see me cry. No, never see me cry. Tough like a diamond. You know I'm strong like titanium. Tough like a diamond. Knock me down, but I won't stay down. Tough like a diamond, strong like titanium. Knock me down, I get back on my feet. I'm strong like titanium. I wake up in the morning, see the sun, and I'm so thankful. I had it just to see another day, and I'm so grateful. Don't take life for granted, that's a no-no. Live your life to the fullest, yeah, just spread love. It takes one heart to love.
That's the title of the track. This is Nadine Sutherland.
I should love.
It really takes one. Are you that one? We got 12 minutes left in the show. If you're not familiar with this album, I suggest you look it up. It's called Queens in the Arena, the Kemet Rhythm. China Nicole did some real work in this compilation. Big ups to you, China. China has a brand new album out. Go ahead and check that out also. This is the sound of Mr. Ed Robinson. Love's in need of love today. And aren't we?
Or even friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love in need of love today. Oh, don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, because hate going round, breaking many hearts. Oh Lord, stop it please, before it's gone too far. Yeah. The force of the evil plan to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say that love's in need of love today. Don't delay.
With this, I want to remind you to look out for members of your community. And your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. And we are all neighbors in this little community that we call planet Earth. So the person that you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, on the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are your neighbors. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. till midnight Eastern Time. Right here, kevinsteele.com. This is Ed Robinson. Love's in need of love today. This is Richard Stevens. Sorry, this is Jack Radix.
She left again. I'm so
true to myself.
Too weak to fight. Wouldn't even try.
Yeah, I'm not playing Richard Stevens today.
But if the bell rings, I wonder what I'll do.
7 minutes to the top of the hour.
I pick myself up off the floor, kick myself through the door. But if the bell rings, I wonder what I'll do. Will I be true to myself and whisper in her ear? Yes. Or will I lie to myself and leave her standing there? Yes, Lord. I'll get myself someone new
rid myself of this misty blue. But then the phone rings. I wonder what I'll do. I ask myself, hey, what's the use? Then I tell myself some silly old excuse. And then the bell rings. Oh Lord, what do I do? Will I be true to myself and whisper in her ear? Yes. Or will I lie to myself and leave her standing there? Yeah.
This is my part right here.
Shade, Lada, move by that day.
Yeah. Get them, Jack.
I'll treat myself to a brand new car. Drive me away to some place far away. But then the bell rings. What you think I do? Oh, was I true to myself? Whispering in her ear, yes. Or was I lying to myself when I left her standing, just standing over there? Shut down.
You know, as we go into the strong end, I just want to encourage you to be good. If you can't be good, however, go ahead and be good at it. Closing off this night shift week with a little Gramps. He did this one dedicated to his uncle and legendary producer Bobby Digital. May their souls rest in peace.
And if you try to fix more than you break,
it's called People Like You.
If you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain,
and I dedicate it to each and every one of you.
People like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
I encourage you guys to join me on Monday as I chat with Angela Mills. She's vying to be the nation of Ghana's first female prime minister later this year. Let's get to know her. But until then, y'all take care. Catch G. Cole tomorrow, catch Melissa Jane. G. Cole on Homegrown with G. Cole, Melissa Jane on the Melissa Jane Show. Check them out.
When you get there,
until Monday, y'all take care.
I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
people like you.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.